Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelli.
Tonight we're talking about Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 18, Episode number 9.
Mm-hmm.
So we start out with Heather and Alexis driving, and Heather invites Alexis to the family equality event in Sonoma. Heather lets Alexis know that she's also invited Shannon, which, she should invite Shannon.
Yeah, I mean, Shannon would obviously be invited because she's a full-time cast member, but
Yes.
It's nice that she's including Alexis because they both have children who have, gender differences, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who identify as whatever.
Yeah. So, and then Heather and Terry are at home with the kids and they're talking about why they moved to LA. And Heather says it's more inclusive, especially for her children. Ace, who can get a fresh new start, and Kat has a school that's, like she's thriving in, and there's, there's theaters there. I didn't actually realize. I mean, I know that they had mentioned it in the beginning that they had moved to LA, like they have a rental in LA while they're building their other house.
Yeah.
And then they had that little place at the club, whatever. And then they have the penthouse in LA.
Right.
So they've got a lot of roots going on.
They do. They do. Really do hope that she stays on OC, though. I really hope that she doesn't make that jump to Beverly Hills. I'm starting to like her on OC, and I don't know. And I'm not saying she wouldn't fit in. Obviously, she'd fit in. Obviously, they got the bank account to back it up. But
yeah,
I don't know. I like her on.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
And then Heather goes on to say that she has 4 kids with different genders and different sexualities, and she wants to set them up for success, which, listen, I think it's awesome that they're talking about it. I think it's awesome, that they're putting like a face to it, because people don't like to talk about these things.
No.
And it's uncomfortable, and it shouldn't be such an uncomfortable topic. Like, I'm glad that they're talking about it.
Yeah, and they're very supportive parents, which is extremely, extremely important.
Absolutely. And then Shane and Emily are talking while she's packing. Tamra and Sophia are packing and they're talking.
That girl does not want to be on this show.
Yeah, I know. I feel that too. The mission of family equality is to support other families that didn't have the resources that like the Dubrows have, which is good because not everyone has those resources. I mean, most people don't. Let's face it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jen's on the phone talking to Katie and letting her know that she's going to take a separate flight because she had just finished up mediation and she has a court case. She's finally going to court to get some sort of temporary, it's not even regular, it's some temporary financial support for custody.
Does that mean that this guy wasn't paying her anything a month? Like for 4 years? I mean, I think she said he had them 50% of the time, which maybe he wasn't, because that makes a difference. If both spouses have the kids 50% of the time, it's like an even wash.
Well, I think, though, I remember when she first came on, he was still living in the other state, and he was coming to the house that they were living in, and then she would move out when he would come, and but now that he's no longer working for her family, now he's back in the area. So I don't know. I'm glad that
friend.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm glad that she finally was able to go and get that. And you could see how emotional she was, and she started crying with Katie. And Katie can relate to that because she's had it difficult too.
Yeah.
I felt bad for her that she missed the private jet, though. Or maybe Heather sent it back for her. I don't know.
I know. It said Heather's private jet.
Yes.
So that is their private jet.
Yes.
That's pretty bomb.
Yeah, absolutely. So they all get on the private jet, and Shannon gets out of the car, and her suitcase falls all over the place. Her stuff falls out of her suitcase.
She can't catch a break. She can't catch a break, Shannon. Holy cow.
I mean, she's so funny. Then Heather says, wait, there's a seating chart when they all get on the plane, which does not surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me either. I thought it was a little silly, but it doesn't surprise me.
But listen, with all the tension that was going on, I think it was a smart thing that she did do the seating chart to keep to keep Shannon away from Alexis and to keep it civil. The night before the trip, Alexis and John, so they're talking about this on the plane. So the night before the trip, Alexis and John were on the red carpet. And John was wearing the Ferragamo shoes that Shannon had bought him. I mean,
you want to hear something funny? Eric has those shoes.
Does he really?
Eric's sister used to work at a very nice boutique,
Mm-hmm.
and she got them for him. And actually, Joe wore them to the prom last year, but they were
Oh my
too
God, that's
small
great.
on him. And he was
That's
like,
great.
"Oh, my feet are killing me." But I thought that was so funny that Eric actually had those shoes.
That is funny. I mean, and it's, listen, Shannon was talking about it before they got on the plane. And then Tamra gets wind of it and has to yell it out.
Asshole. She's just such an asshole.
She really is an
Yep.
asshole.
Yep.
She really is.
Because I don't think Gina said it, but she was like away from them, right?
Right.
And
It
away
wasn't a big
from
deal.
Alexis.
Right. Yes. It was not. It wasn't supposed to be made a big deal of. But Tamra got wind of it and likes to stir the pot, which she's done it. Well, we'll get into it because she did it again.
Yes, she did.
Okay. So then once they get there, they kind of split up into two different groups, right? So Shannon goes with, who does Shannon go with? Shannon goes with Emily, Gina, and Katie, and they're all having lunch together. And she tells them that she's got a deadline to respond to today for John's lawsuit. And that Shannon, she tells them that she's counter-offered half, and she's just waiting. You know, she's not going to go a penny higher, and she's waiting to hear back from them. And then during the lunch, she gets a call from her attorney, and he comes back and says no. And she's like beside herself. We'll get back to that. And then the other women are Heather, Alexis, and Tamra. And then they go and meet up with the CEO of Family Equality for the wine tasting. And they're kind of celebrating and cheersing because they had just sued the state of Florida for the Don't Say Gay ruling, and they won.
Right.
Which is big news. It's big news.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly what that law was. I mean, I don't think it was called Don't Say Gay, correct? It wasn't really called that, right? That was just a name they gave it?
Yes. Okay. I agree.
I mean, I would pray to God that's not the real
name
of it. But I'm happy that they were successful in overturning whatever they were trying to do.
And that was kind of, I remember when we talked about the Valley, that was brought up on the Valley as well, that whole, and
yes.
And I thought, was it in California? But no, it was in Florida. Like you had said that back then. It was in Florida. So, you know, I'm glad that they're fighting it, you know, everywhere because it shouldn't be. We shouldn't have those. We shouldn't have those laws. No. We should be inclusive.
Yes.
Yes. So then Heather did a champagne collaboration with the Family Equality Group. So she came up with, you know, 4 different champagnes that kind of loosely reflect each of her 4 children. And 100% of the proceeds for that is going to Family Equality, which is awesome.
Yes.
Because people will buy that just because it's got her name on it.
Absolutely. We will.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how expensive it is.
Well, that is true. That is correct, Heather Dubrow. If you price it for the regular people.
Yes. We don't have fancy pants money. We don't have fancy pants money. And then Jen meets up with them while they're there. So she gets up and she gets to California and she meets up with them and she lets everybody know that she was able to get some support, but $6,000 a month for 5 children doesn't really seem like much. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, I don't know what the guy makes. What is that? That's $72,000 a year.
Yeah, but still in 06.
Right, but I mean, how much does he make? I mean, I'm sure he makes a decent buck.
Yeah, I guess.
If they were living that lifestyle before, then he must make good money.
Right.
So.
And then Shannon and Emily and Gina and Katie, they all go to the spa because they're having spa treatments done. And at the spa, the perfumer walks in and says to the ladies, tell me your favorite scent and why. And Emily's like, you mean like tacos?
That was amazing.
Emily really loves her food.
She loves her tacos. Remember, wasn't her tagline last year about tacos?
It was about tacos. It was about tacos. And then she's like, okay, it could be tacos, but why? Well, they're really meaty and cheesy and juicy. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then the look on Gina's face when she's talking about it, it was priceless. It was priceless. That was
very good. Very good.
I don't really know what the point of that was, though. Like, what was that? Like, she was going to give them that perfume, like, and then they smelt different other
I'm sure there was more to the scene that just got cut.
Yeah. Like
But,
maybe they were going to
you know,
do.
you can go do that. You can go create your own perfume.
Yeah.
So maybe it was part of that, and we just didn't see the rest of it.
That could be.
Yeah.
That could be. And then Gina tells them about how she got a new dog, another doodle, and she feels like getting the dog is helping fill a void since Travis moved out. And the ladies kind of think that she's just like putting a Band-Aid on it because it's a dog.
Yeah. I thought it was cute that they named him Clover to represent Travis's
Travis.
Irish side, and her other dog is Meatball for her Italian side. I thought that was
Yes.
adorable. But
Yes.
yeah, I think, you know, it still puzzles me why she did what she did. I mean, I guess it was to give her kids more room. I guess it was just to give her kids more room. And you know what? There's really nothing wrong with that.
I don't think that there is, but I did feel bad when she was talking about her daughter, Sienna.
Yeah.
Who has a really hard time with transitions. And they kind of showed a little scene about, you know, how she, you know, listen, they're young, but their kids are resilient, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't like change at all.
Right.
So, you know, for a little girl, but she'll get past it. She'll, you know, every day is just
yeah.
You know, if there's ever something you don't think you could do, like I could never do that, but then you do it one day and then you do it the next day and you do it the next day, it just becomes a habit, and, you know, or something you do and you just accept it.
And then she also says how Travis feels like all the renovations that she's doing there is like her trying to erase him being there. And he's kind of triggered by that, which is understandable. It's understandable.
Sure. Especially when she's doing the construction in the kids' rooms. It's like you're, you know, but the kids really seem to want to be together.
Right.
Like, because when she said, you know, you could stay at Travis's house, they're like, yeah, we want to stay there.
Right.
So that's good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think as kids get older, they're going to need more space. They are going to need more space.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's not divorced yet. If he were divorced and in a position where they could go purchase something together,
right.
Sure, Gina would feel much better about that. But he's not.
Right.
So, you know, get it together. You know, finalize the divorce and then you can move on.
Hopefully by the reunion, maybe we'll hear some news that something has happened on that front.
Yeah.
So then on the other side, like I said, then Shannon gets a call from her attorney and we find out that he is not accepting anything except for the full amount. And Gina and Emily and Katie are trying to tell her, like, you know, maybe just, I know it's a lot of money, but maybe just for your own sanity, because she was very, very distraught. Yeah. You know, just pay him the money and move on. And then Gina says, well, you know, with the video, and of course, Emily's like, she doesn't know about the video when she's sitting right next to
And
Shannon.
Gina had to know she didn't know. She would have known by now if she knew. They would have had a conversation.
I don't know. I don't know. I want to believe that Gina didn't really know and she was just like a slip.
Yeah.
Because then Katie is the one who actually winds up telling her.
Yeah.
Because Gina didn't even tell her and Emily didn't even tell her. And I really, just last week I said, I really want Gina to tell her.
Yep. Somebody should have told her. And really, Gina and Emily, I mean, they're being very, very supportive, which is nice. Tell her. Tell her.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that she knows.
Mm-hmm.
And now she has the information that she needs. And then she goes and calls her attorney back and just says, settle it. Just settle it. I can't keep doing this, which is the right decision. And then she comes back and Emily and Katie had left to go do their soaking bath thing. And Gina was, you know, sitting there and she's like, I can't, you know, and I don't blame her. I couldn't go get a massage either. I mean, there's no way.
To that dinner.
No. So she goes back to her place and Gina goes and gets her massage. And then we see Shannon, she goes down to take a nap. And then we see her walk over to Heather's room. And, you know, you could see just, she was so visibly shaken. You could see how upset she was. I think Heather was very kind and supportive to her.
Yes.
I don't think Heather, you know, she doesn't want bad for Shannon. You know, she's known Shannon a long time. although she's friends with Alexis, listen, what Alexis is doing is not right. It is not right.
Gina said it. They're that's extortion.
It's extortion. Yeah.
And by the way, Bravo, you're backing it up. It's on video. It's documented now that that's exactly what they were doing, and you were facilitating it on camera. I feel like Bravo is really got one foot in the grave, quite honestly. I really do. I can't believe what they consider entertainment. This is not entertainment. This is very sad. And she made a big mistake, Shannon. That picture of her was horrible.
Yeah. So then she shows the picture to Heather that she had texted to John Janssen after the accident.
She was still sitting in the car when she took that picture of herself, right?
I think so, because she said she texted him that picture after the accident, and he didn't respond to her to that picture.
She went unconscious and woke up in the hospital.
Right. But her friend was saying to her when they were recounting what happened, like, how far down the road were you? Like, he had to have heard that accident.
Mm-hmm.
He had to have heard that accident. And then you sent that picture, and then he doesn't respond to you until the police show up with the dog. I mean, come on.
Yep. And then he texted her and said, "What's going on? The cops were here."
Right.
So that was like a while later after they got her to the hospital, right? And maybe got a little more information.
Well, I mean, I think it was probably since the dog was there and they brought the dog to his house.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, she wasn't that far from John Jansen's house.
No.
And there's no way he didn't hear it.
It's just very sad. Like, she made a huge mistake. Huge mistake. But she's, working on herself, and she's doing all the right things. And you know what? What about in the van where Tamra was talking about a picture of Shannon sitting at the mall drinking alone?
Yeah, what was that about?
I have no idea, but she said it right to Shannon, didn't she? Weren't Shannon and Tamra
No.
They were in two separate cars?
Yes. Yeah, no, she didn't. No, they were in two separate cars.
When they flip back and forth from the car scene,
I know.
Sometimes I get confused who's with who. But again, she's just stirring the pot. Who fucking cares as long as she's not driving?
Right. I mean, Tamra has been so vicious and ugly. I don't know why I didn't write this down here. When Jen showed up and Katie and Heather were talking about how they kind of resolve things. Again, Tamra says Gina threw you under the bus to Heather, to Katie. Yeah, to Heather. To Katie about the whole Heather situation.
Yeah.
Again, why does she keep inserting herself in that? Like, why?
Because she thinks that's her job. She kept saying that about Margaret on New Jersey because they're friends. Margaret does her job. Margaret moves storylines. Margaret stirs the pot. Tamra thinks that that's her job. But I personally don't think Margaret is mean-spirited in how she does that.
Yeah.
I think Tamra she's just a douche.
She's mean. I mean, Gina and Heather are very close. And
Yeah.
Gina and Heather had gotten past what happened with Katie.
Yeah.
And she's still trying to push that storyline. No,
Yeah.
Gina threw you under the bus. No, Gina didn't throw her under the bus.
No.
I
think that Gina, when it came down to it, was on Heather's side.
Oh, absolutely.
And probably didn't admit to all of the involvement she had in that coming out. But that is what it is, and it's up to Heather to move past that and accept it and accept her apology and move on. And she has. So,
right.
Done deal.
Right.
How about God bless Vicky Gunvalson?
Yes.
What she said about Tamra and her daughter, spot on. Go fix your family.
Yeah.
Before you start casting stones at everybody else. And then that stupid video of Tamra fake crying. The first time I was thinking about it, the first time I saw Tamra fake cry, well, maybe not the first time, but the time it really stood out to me was when Eddie proposed to her with that stupid clamshell. and they were sitting on that dock on.
Were they in Bora Bora or someplace
Yep.
like that? Yeah.
Yep. I mean, ridiculous fake cry, ridiculous. But we had probably seen it before with her scenes with Simon, because.
Yeah.
But that video she posted, leave me alone. Like, come on. You're the nastiest thing on Bravo right now. You deserve everything she said.
She absolutely deserved everything she said. And I will tell you, the public is not giving her a break either.
Nope.
They are making fun of her. I mean, she was making those videos of her procedure and her plastic surgery, which were horrible to begin with. Her own mother said, like, this is ridiculous.
That is bad. I mean, why would you put that on social media? I'm sure it's going to look fantastic when it heals, but go heal in peace, man. Just go heal in peace, and we'll see you when it's all done.
Because she wants attention.
Absolutely.
She sees how it's going. Everyone is turning on her. All the fans are turning on her, and she's getting a lot of grief.
Yep.
So maybe they'll feel sorry for me because look at what I look like, and this is, what I have to do to be on this show.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, come on.
Awful. She's awful. At least I'm glad people are seeing it, and like you said, are commenting not in her favor, because I'm sure she still has some of her fans, but
in that video, she said that she's done. She's not going back. Do you believe it?
No, I don't think she'd ever walk away. I think she'd have to be fired again.
I hope Bravo fires her. I really do. I really do, because I don't like the way she acts. And we see a little bit on the upcoming. Earlier, I said Eddie stands by her blindly because when Ryan walked in, but then we see when she's going after them, Eddie tells her to stop.
Oh, he does? That's in the coming attraction?
That's in the coming attraction. So
interesting.
Eddie is sitting next to her and tells her to stop. Don't do that.
Well, she's so stupid. Like, these are legal matters that should not be talked about on national television, especially when it's an ongoing investigation. She's just stupid, really. She's just dumb. Yeah, she doesn't know any better because she's dumb.
I mean, she's already been sued once.
Yep.
Yeah.
And by the way, John Janssen, here's a PSA for you, because I like to give out my PSAs, but Shannon saying that she paid for things the first half of your relationship does not make you look like a bad guy. She was on a television show. She's got a lot of money, or had a lot of money. I don't know what you do for a living. I'm sure you make a great living, but she made more at the time and paid for things. That doesn't make you look like a bad guy. What makes you look like a bad guy is dating that bimbo that you're with now on purpose, because you do like to be in the spotlight, and you probably knew it would be great for TV. So now your name's back out there and you're extorting money from your ex. And somebody said it on social media. I guess Shannon had the facelift in 2022. So that's 2 years ago. They only broke up, what, a year ago?
Mm-hmm.
He never asked for the money before that.
Of course not. Of course not. And like Shannon said, I think it was Shannon that said, so if he gave her the money for the facelift, then why did he give her more money if he wanted the money back from the facelift?
Exactly.
He gave her more money after that.
Right. So if it was going to be an issue, why did you do it again? Again, that doesn't make you look like a bad guy. It makes you look dumb. Yeah, he's making himself look terrible. She's not doing it at all. All she said was she paid for things. And if that's the truth, then that's the truth.
Right.
And it was just at a time in their lives where she was making more money. And she was happy to do it. I mean, appreciate it. That's not coming after your character at all.
I'm so happy that Shannon is in such a good place, though, that she, she really sees what a monster he was. He was a monster. Yeah. He is a monster.
He is.
He's a predator. Mm-hmm. He really is.
I mean, now they're engaged, him and Alexis. Oh, did you hear Teddy talking to Erica Jane? I didn't listen to the whole thing. I must have seen a clip on Instagram, but she's like, her and her David Yurman engagement ring.
No, that was the promise ring. The promise ring.
Oh, that was the promise ring.
The promise ring. So yeah, what I've heard is that the engagement ring, it was $75,000. The amount of money he's suing for.
What a piece of shit.
Yep. What a piece of shit is right.
So that's what he needed the money for?
Who knows?
Shannon bought Alexis's engagement ring.
Sounds that way, right? But I don't know, because she said he's not accepting that money. It's going to court still.
As of right now, they still have not resolved this?
Yes. Because when Shannon was on Watch What Happens Live, she told Andy that she offered him the full amount, and he's not accepting it because he doesn't want to sign the non-disparagement agreement. And then he tacked on it fraud and punitive damages. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
like, this is what's making you look like a bad guy.
Yeah.
This is what's making you look like a bad guy. Nothing Shannon said prior to any of this. But as of right now, with this, she could say whatever she wants because now you are a bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing, you and I had listened to the podcast by Ed, the two Eds. So Ed, Tamra's husband, and Eddie, Edwin is Teddy's husband.
Yeah.
And they both had on Terry Dubrow.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the best interview I've heard in a very long time.
I totally agree with you.
So if our listeners have not listened to that, I recommend that you go listen to it. It's under the Two T's in a Pod umbrella, but it's the two Eds. And
yeah,
it's a good interview. Terry Dubrow is a funny guy. He's an honest guy. We learned a lot about him, about his younger years, how he met Heather, how he was as a father when his kids were younger and the things he missed out on that he admits to. And it's just a very honest guy. He really is.
Very honest guy.
Yeah.
And they do seem that they are very happily married, in a good place. Because I think one of the seasons it kind of looked like they weren't, but.
Well, because there was the rumors, and that's why the whole paparazzi thing.
Right.
It's all rumors.
He's just an honest guy, and I love hearing the stories about his brother.
Yes. I didn't even know any of that. Quiet Riot. I knew nothing about that.
I remember he said it on the show. It might have been when he first came on. He was telling somebody, it could have been Eddie, but he was telling somebody that his brother was the lead singer of Quiet Riot. And as soon as he said it, I was like, "Holy shit!" They look a lot alike. Yeah. I didn't realize his brother had like substance issues, and I hope he doesn't any longer. Is he still alive?
I think he is.
I hope so. Well, I think he would have said it.
Yeah, I think he would have too. And the other thing I thought was very interesting is he brought up the whole when that season where Heather had the sushi party, the Nobu party, and they had that housewife come in who had previously sued Terry Dubrow.
Yes.
And the producers and Evolution, the production company, who is his production company, knew all about it. And and I don't blame him. I do not blame him.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're setting up their own employees.
Yes.
And Heather's on camera saying, "I'll shut it down right now." She don't fucking need that job.
No. And he doesn't either.
They've reached out to her to come back on the show when they fired Tamra.
Yeah. She doesn't need that job. And like Terry said, even the botched, it's like a net zero. He makes more money operating than he does for that show. He doesn't need any more business.
Right.
He's got plenty of money. He doesn't need more money. I mean,
you know what I thought was nice that he said? That a lot of plastic surgeons, and I never even thought about this, but it makes total sense. Like a lot of plastic surgeons in his position will start a procedure and then a younger, less experienced doctor will come in and finish it. So they'll hop from operating room to operating room and start like 3 procedures. So they're making 3 times the amount of money he's making. But he doesn't do that. He does every surgery from beginning to end, every stitch. I really appreciated that he said that. I thought that was really great.
I agree 100%. I mean, everything he had to say, I'm like, he is a good guy. He's an ethical man.
Yes.
I think he's funny. I think he's charming. I just fell in love with Terry Dubrow.
And he's like totally acknowledges like I can be a jerk.
Yeah.
Like
I was obnoxious. He calls himself obnoxious. He was obnoxious when he was in school. He was obnoxious when he was younger. And he didn't come from this.
Right.
Like, it was a very good interview.
And even like now he still can be obnoxious, not in a malicious or mean manner,
Right.
but he can be, you know. Yeah, I enjoyed that interview. I think he's a nice, honest guy.
Yeah, I would love to go to dinner with Heather and Terry Dubrow.
Yeah. I mean, you could throw Josh and Heather Altman in there too.
Oh my
'Cause
God,
I'd
that
love
would be so much
I know.
fun.
I know.
All right, you guys hit us
Hit
up.
us up. You're going to have to fly us out to LA,
Yeah.
but hit us up.
Yeah, we'd love to come.
We would. We really, really would.
I guess that's it. I don't really have anything else about OCD.
No. I mean, it took me all day today in increments to watch it because every time I put it on, Eric came into the kitchen and wanted to talk to me. I'm like, all right. So of course I pause it and he's like, oh, you got to pause it. I'm like, yes, I have to pause it because I'm talking about it later with Wendy and I need to know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
My God.
And then if you don't pause it and you're paying attention, they'll be mad that you're not listening to them.
You're not even looking at me.
Right.
Okay.
One day they'll get it.
I hope so. Fingers crossed.
There you go. All right. Until next time, thank you for watching and listening to We Why Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelli. Bye.
Bye.